Hi, my name is Jennifer Lane Ramsey. I am a board member in the area of curriculum and instruction for Triumph Collegiate Academy. So I've been really involved in setting up our programs and in figuring out what's going to be a great option for our middle school students today. So this middle school was started out of a need. We felt like middle school had kind of become the black hole of education, and as parents and educators, we wanted to offer something that would help our students build confidence, keep their love for learning, keep the mystery and wonder of exploration alive for them, and also really prepare them to be dual credit students by about 9th or 10th grade so that they would be college ready. So we do this by becoming more efficient. The first thing we did was trim the fat. So by taking out state mandated testing, we have added about 30% more to the school year. We've organized our terms in trimesters so that the students are able to take fewer classes at a time and yet get more done by the end of the year. And we have created a system where we are integrating some of our learning. So science and math are kind of paired together in a STEM module. We have our language arts and social studies prepared and communications paired in a class model, we call. And then we have a really robust program of electives and self-exploration that we really want these kids to dive into and just go out there, feel the world. And we've got some great mentors lined up to really work with them. So that's kind of our come from. The College Prep Academy is going to be organized into 3 levels. We do developmental placements. So we will look at what grade you last completed, but we're also going to interview you. We're going to talk to you about your kid. We're going to talk to your kid, and we're going to try to really get to know you and make sure that we're meeting you where you're at, because our job is to meet you where you're at and take you to the next step. So basically, we're going to do skills-based placements, and ideally, our students would be coming to us young. So I'm going to walk you through how it would look if you were starting with us at the very beginning. You would have just completed 5th, 6th, or 7th grade. You would probably be ready to review arithmetic. You might not quite be confident enough yet for pre-algebra. So what we would be doing is putting you in a STEM module that reviews arithmetic. It kind of breaks it back down to multiplication, division, factoring, making sure you really have a solid grip on all of that basic stuff. Fractions, decimals, percentages, probability, so that you are really confident by the end of the year that you can do that. And we have very excellent math coaches available to help with that. Then what we do is we pair that with a really engaging science curriculum, exploring things like marine biology and astronomy and things that often get left out because of our recent focus on some of the other things that come later in our programs. So we want to make science just a world of wonder and exploration and exciting, engaging stuff. We kind of do the same thing with the class module, which is the language arts and social studies and communication. We're to start with, how do you build a great paragraph? How do you write with voice? How do you find your voice again when we've kind of milked it out of you, maybe with a lot of boring writing prompts? We want writing to become fun again. We want them to realize that writing is a tool of self-expression. So lots of journaling, lots of self-directed topics that they think are interesting. And we have a pretty engaging curriculum that is going to look at some of the classic stories that have formed our cultures. We do a lot of world history, world culture, world explorations in that first year. So that's Prep 1. And then that's combined, of course, with our elective model, where you are doing some career explorations and becoming very self-aware of your likes, your dislikes. And if you're an elite athlete or an artist and you're doing a lot of things outside, you might be in 4-H. I know whatever the big thing is you're involved in is going to be a part of that as well. We're going to get you credit for it and help you develop it deeper. So maybe turn it into a career. Who knows? So then in our second year, these students are students who've completed about 1 year above that. So they might be anywhere from 12 to 14 years old. They've probably completed 6th through 8th grade, somewhere in there. And what we're doing with Prep 2 is we're starting those kids with pre-algebra, and they're going to get into a little bit more of the different sciences like life science and maybe an IPC level, kind of integrating physics, chemistry, a little bit of introduction to some of that. We haven't settled completely on all of those topics, but they're going to wrap around a pre-algebraic level of understanding. They're not going to push them farther than that. We want to get those kids through pre-algebra in a year and introduce them to algebra so that they begin algebra as very confident learners, and we have this whole extra third of the year to make sure that everything is kind of worked out for them, that if they have a question and something isn't catching on, we want confident mathematicians. And so we do that, and then we will start looking at writing from building paragraphs. These kids are going to come in knowing how to build a good paragraph with supporting details, and how do we now turn paragraphs and put them together into about what you would have called a 5-paragraph essay maybe as a kid, but something about that length. We will have some of that structure, and some of it will be more free. Again, writing, we want to be very exploratory and creative and fun again. And by removing the state assessments, that's really easy to do. Those kids that complete those 2 years will then be ready to start with our 9th grade class, whether they've come in one of the 2 years or done both of them. Once they complete Prep 2, they're ready to start college, and I'm ready to engage in dual credit. We start with some very basic dual credit, and you can look at the Collegiate Academy videos for that. The third option is for students who are a little bit older or don't fit one of those categories. So they might have already started some high school, they might just be older. And that's going to kind of be a prep module that looks at pre-algebra and algebra 1 together. So it's like algebra with review. And then it's also going to assume that they have some understanding of essay writing, but are ready to really put it into a more stronger form. They're actually going to start taking some high school level classes too, like English 1 and some history and things like that they need. We cover state history and Prep 2, so if they haven't had that, we have to make sure that they've had it, but most of them have. So anyway, that Prep 1 module kind of combines both of those and gets them ready for the stuff in 1 year instead of 2, basically. And it's really for our students that are more like age 14 and up. So anyway, that's kind of how it's laid out. If you have more questions, please feel free to get in touch with me. I can talk to you about that. Actually, if you're not ready for one of the 2 preps in one area, we can also combine them. So make like a Prep 1 and Prep 2 combo. So anyway, have a great